Hi guys, it's Natalia here. I'm here today to share with you a brush haul and review. I picked up these brushes. These brushes are from OCC or Obsessive Compulsive Cosmetics. I picked them up a couple of weeks ago from Lipstick Republic. I have been using them for a while now and I thought I would share with you my thoughts, go through the collection of them. They've only got 11 in their collection, so I've got them all here, and I thought I would just sort of go through them with you, show you the brushes and just talk about them and which ones I like, which ones I don't like. And I was a little bit skeptical about buying these brushes from OCC purely because I recently picked up the whole range of furless brushes, like the big brush kit, and up until this point I haven't really liked synthetic brushes. I like the Real Techniques ones are good. I got some Royal and Langdooker ones and they don't really do it for me, and so I'm just really finding it hard to get some synthetic brushes that I think are really good. So I picked up the furless brushes. I'm still working with them. I'm yet to film a review on them because I'm actually finding it a little bit hard to find a lot of things that I like about those brushes. And so I guess having that as my next lot of synthetic brushes, it was a real disappointment for me. When I found out about the OCC brushes, I really wasn't sure if I wanted to get them, but I've liked every other product that OCC do, so I thought I would give it a go. And the brushes have really surprised me. This is what the brushes look like. They all come with the white handle like that, which is really nice. I have any brushes with white handles, and I like it for something different. I know that that's them. I can just go into a big bag of brushes and pull out a white handle and know I'm getting one of these brushes. So the brushes look like this, big white handles, silver ferrule, and they're all synthetic. OCC, if you aren't aware of the company, they are 100% animal cruelty free, and they're 100% vegan as well with all their products, which is a really good thing these days, and I think they're doing a really good job with all of their products. The other products they've got are the OCC lip tars, they've got the loose colour concentrates, which are their eyeshadow pigments. They've got some nail polishes out now, which I'm dying to get my hands on, but it's just a little bit hard to get them in Australia. But the brushes are like this. The one thing that annoys me about these brushes is that they don't have numbers on them. You don't know what, well, you know what brush is what by looking at them, but if you want to say, cool, I need OCC number 6 brush, no one knows what OCC number 6 brush is. There is no number on them. It's just got the name, which is fantastic, but that doesn't help me when I want to know what brush it is. And it is so frustrating. I actually had to go on the OCC website here beforehand, and I've got them all laid out in number order. So I'm just going to go from 1 to 11, and yeah, let's just take it from there. So number 1 is this large blush brush. It's actually not really that large compared to like the Real Techniques brush. The size of it is slightly tapered, as you can sort of see there. It is thinner. It's not like a round brush, it's a bit more of like a flatter brush. It is also tapered to the top there. This is a really nice brush. I find it seems to be like the perfect size. I find the Real Techniques brush to be just a little bit too big. My other favourite brush is the Ray Morris brush. That is actual natural hair, but as far as synthetic brushes go, this is a really nice brush. This is what I use to apply my blush today. It's just so easy. If you just want to turn it on the side, it can push it on your cheekbones to blend it out. You can sort of turn it widthways and it'll help blend out your blush. You can use it for applying powder onto your face, anything, and it's just, I like it. It's a really nice brush. It is actually really soft for a synthetic brush. I find it picks up product really well as well, and like I said, blends out really nicely. So that is number 1. Number 2 is just your standard flat foundation brush. It's actually a really good size. It's got a fairly thick handle, which I like. It's sort of like a really nicely weighted handle. I say that in a lot of my videos, but for whatever reason, the weight of the handle really is a big thing for me. That if the weight of the handle is like just too light, I don't know, there's something about the brush that I don't particularly like. But this is a really nice brush. A lot of people don't like these foundation brushes because it can leave streaks. Saying that, I didn't actually find that when I put my foundation on with this brush, it was overly streaky. There may have been a couple of streaks, but whenever I use a brush like this, I do just go pat my hands over it just to help blend it out finally. You can use it as like a concealer brush under your eye. It doesn't have to be just for foundation. Any kind of liquid products, really, it would be really nice. If you wanted to apply like your contour, if you're using a cream contour, you can sort of apply that with it. They are handy brushes to use. They're not used all that much by me personally because I prefer to use like the beauty blender or my hand to apply foundation. They still do have a purpose in my makeup kit. The next brush I've got here is number 3, and this is like the concealer brush. So it's pretty much the same as the foundation brush, just a little bit thinner. This one is really nice to get up underneath your eye and just really blend out your concealer. You can bring it down your face, really get close to your lash line. It doesn't seem to be very scratchy at all, so I can take it right underneath my lashes, which is a few of the synthetic brushes I find the way that the bristles are cut, it just makes it really it doesn't make it overly scratchy, but I can notice it. And if I do notice brushes going underneath my eye, I don't use it on myself, and I definitely don't use it on my clients. So I haven't found that with these brushes. Again, if you're just doing like some spot concealing, it's good to just go blend in. Not be an essential brush, because I guess there's other ways you can apply blending concealer, like your fingers, or if you use a sponge or something, you might not need that. But they do have it in the collection, so I've got that one. This one here is number 4, and this is kind of like a tapered blending brush. It's actually really quite small. It's much smaller than I expected it to be. I expected it to be sort of like the 217 size, and it's very much a lot smaller than that, or even the 222 or the 224. But it is tapered, which is really good because it really makes blending so much easier. And I find this actually to be really nice. If you've got really, really small eyes, this brush would be perfect for you. I find I use it a lot, sort of getting it into the crease and sort of blending out any crease colours. If you want to do like a cut crease or something, that'll also be really good. It's also small enough to get under your brow bone. It's actually a really good brush to blend underneath your eye as well. Because it is synthetic, you can also use it for liquid products. You don't have to stick it to cream products. If you wanted to, you know, tap in some concealer or something, if you've got any spots you want to conceal, you can use that one for that as well. This is brush number 5. It is an angled blending brush, and as you can sort of see there, it's kind of like a big round brush, but the bristles are cut at an angle. I have not got any brush like this in my collection at all, so when I first got it, I'm like, oh, that's really weird. But I find it to be really, really good, especially if you want like a really defined crease. You just sort of load the product up there onto the tip of the bristles there, and you can really get in and cut that crease out, and then you can sort of just go over it and it blends out really nicely. It's also really easy to pack product onto your eyelid because it is flat, and again, if you want to use it and just sort of run it underneath your eye. I actually find that I'm using this one a lot to blend. I don't know if it's just because it's new and it's sort of a bit of a novelty, but this one seems to be becoming my sort of go-to blending brush as well. Because it's also angled as well, you can get it in. I really should be careful doing this because I don't know if I've still got product on there. You can really get in there and blend out concealer as well if that's something you wanted to do. Like I said, synthetic, you can use these for creams and powder products. Brush number 6 is a sort of a short shader brush. It looks a bit like this. It's kind of like one of those, just Sigma have got one very similar to that one. This one's a little bit fatter, fantastic for getting under your eye to apply eyeshadow. I actually use this one to apply highlight to my brow bone because I think it's really good, and also to the cupid's bow and just, you know, down my nose. I like the fact that the bristles are really short. I just don't know if it's, I think it might be a little bit too fat. So if you've got small eyes, you probably wouldn't get much use out of this one, but it's still actually a really nice brush, as I said, for smudging out. Okay, brush number 7, this is when we're getting into more of our eyeshadow brushes. This is the large, fluffy, eyeshadow brush. It is just kind of like your standard eyeshadow application brush. It's quite large, so if you've got smaller eyes, you might want to go for the smaller one, which is coming up next. But if you've got sort of like larger eyelids, eye space, it's actually really quite nice. Very, very soft. They seem to pick up the product really, really well. They don't leave much fallout. And I don't know, I just really like it. You can really get in there, you can blend with it. It's just a really nice soft brush. I find that like a few of my Sigma brushes, they're just getting a little bit too scratchy, but these ones aren't quite, I can't feel them on my eyelids. So for that reason, I'm sort of turning to these ones. And I really like it. I'm really impressed with these brushes so far. This one's number 8. This is the smaller shader brush. I'll just show you the size difference. So this is 7 and this one's 8, large and small. The large one, as you can see, is a lot fatter as well. If you've got really small eyes, the small one would be fantastic for you. It's really good to like apply product into the inner corner of your eye and also get it sort of a bit more detailed and precise in the outer corner of your eye. It's a really nice brush. You know, what else can you say about an eyeshadow brush except it's just soft, applies product well. I actually applied it today and I just used this to apply and blend, and it seemed to be really good. Number 9, we are getting into more of like your angled brush. That's what that brush looks like. It is fantastic. You can use this one for eyeliner, you can use it for eyebrows. I would actually probably use this one more to do eyebrows than I would eyeliner, because for eyeliners I just prefer like a thin, like a longer thin brush as opposed to the angle brushes. But one thing I like about this brush is the bristles, they seem to be really taut. You put pressure on them and they don't give, they sort of hold their shape, and that is, to me, is one of the crucial parts to me for eyeshadow brushes. The bristles need to be able to hold their shape when you're putting pressure to them. That was the biggest letdown for me with furless brushes. I find that anyway, that's not what we're talking about today. It's stiff enough so you can get into your eyebrows, but it's also stiff enough that if you were going to do a liner, you could do that with like your gel liner or something as well. So use brush, but it's a really nice one. This one here must be number 10, and this is their lip brush. This one is the same. It's just like a longer version of the lip brushes you get with an OCC lip tar. These are the ones you get with a lip tar. Clearly, I've got a lot of lip tars. I've got a lot of these. So this one is the little travel size one that comes with your lip tars, and this is the full size version of it. It is the same brush. I find these brushes to be really good. It has got sort of like a bit more of a round edge. Previously, the brush I have been loving has been the Ray Morris one. It's got like the full-on rectangular edge, and that gives the almost perfect straight dead line. It's almost foolproof. These ones are a little bit harder to manage, like to get your dead straight line. It's a little bit harder to do, which is why I prefer that brush. But if you wanted more of like a sort of a softer, sort of feathered out look, these brushes are really good. They apply lip tars so well, and I really like it because it's also really small. You can actually use it as like a sort of a spot concealer brush as well. You can use it to apply like highlighter into the inner corner of your eye, under your eye, anywhere that you want to use it, you can. Really good multi-purpose brush. And this is number 11, and this one's actually got to be my favourite one in the collection. It is a small, what do they call it? Let me just see what they call it. Number 11 is a small powder or a blush brush. Now, that is like really small. Let me just show you compared to number 1. That's how small it is. It is a round brush, and it's a round, it's sort of like a domed, not like a complete flat top like the F80 from Sigma. It is sort of like the more of the domed but sort of still flat top, and to apply blush, it actually does it really well. If you are someone who likes blush on your apples of your cheeks, this is a fantastic blush for you. I'm someone who actually prefers my blush to be sort of like starting at the back and sort of coming forward, not so much on my apples. But the one thing I'm loving this for is contouring. I find this to be the perfect size to really get in there, it's up and down, and it just blends, applies contour so easily. You get it into the temples, on your hairlines, because it's got sort of the edges that sort of run it down my nose either side, it sort of blends it out, and it is such a good brush. I love this brush. This is my favourite brush out of the collection, I would say. So that is the entire collection of OCC brushes. They're fairly reasonably priced. In their prices they vary between about $18 to $22, $24 I think. I will put a full blog post and photos of the brushes and list their prices and stuff as well. Otherwise, if you can't wait for that, head down and check out Lipstick Republic's website because that's got them all listed. I'm not sure if you can actually buy the OCC brushes anywhere else in Australia except Lipstick Republic. I haven't seen them. I haven't heard about them being sold anywhere else, so if you are in Australia, that's the best place to get them from, or the only place to get them from. Fantastic shipping. And yeah, I think they're a fantastic company. I'm so glad I got these brushes. As far as synthetic brushes go, these brushes have now lifted up my hopes again. As I said, I didn't have a good experience with the furless brushes, and I just was a bit skeptical about it. 11 brushes, go check them out, lipstickrepublic.com.au. I love them. I cannot say a bad thing about these brushes. I think they're fantastic. And again, as I said, 100% vegan and cruelty free. So if that's something that you are certainly interested in, go and check them out. If you have any comments or questions, leave it in the comment bar below and I'll get back to you. And I'll put a link below to my blog and my Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all those different things, so you can come and follow me there and sort of get to know me a bit more on a personal level, especially on Instagram. I'm an Instagram addict at the moment. So yeah, that's it. I hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!